Air quality is dropping in western Washington tonight as wildfire smoke hovers over our area. Take a look at this map from the Puget Sound Clean Air Agency. You can see all the red there. This indicates unhealthy air quality in the Puget Sound area tonight. Thanks for choosing King 5. I'm Madison Wade. This smoke stems from fires that are burning to our east and north into Canada. King 5 has a crew near Spokane tonight as Washington state enters a state of emergency. Crews work to get 4 wildfires there under control. And we are following the latest out of British Columbia, also under a state of emergency tonight. Team coverage begins in less than 3 minutes. But first, our top story tonight. 3 people have been killed, another 6 injured in the shooting in Seattle's Mount Baker neighborhood at a hookah lounge. The shooting happened just before 4:30 this morning. No arrests have been made. King 5's Cornelius Hawker is live for us with the very latest information. Cornelius.
Seattle Police Chief Adrian Diaz says this shooting follows a trend he's been seeing: multiple victims at the shootings SPD investigates. Seattle police spent Sunday investigating the aftermath of a mass shooting in Seattle's Mount Baker neighborhood.
You see the families that are impacted by this violence. It's unacceptable. It's just something it's disturbing. 9 victims in total. 3 of them have died. A 22-year-old man, a 30-year-old woman, and a 32-year-old man. The 6 others injured are between the ages of 21 and 38. Have I seen this before? I have not seen this to this magnitude in 26 years of policing.
Seattle Police Chief Adrian Diaz says this shooting at the Rainier Hookah Lounge is part of a disturbing trend.
And we've had Capitol Hill case. We had, the Safeway, Rainier Beach Safeway incident. And then we have this.
An extreme amount of bullets being fired at the shootings they investigate.
That's why we're seeing more victims. More bullets are being fired. This year we've recovered over 4,000 shell casings. Immediately when somebody is confronted, we're finding that conflict literally being pulling out a gun and being able to resolve it with a gun.
To prevent more shootings, Chief Diaz says it has to be a community effort.
I've been really focused on, getting community groups involved and engaged in this level to be able to combat, violence in the community.
So more people in our community don't have to experience the trauma of gun violence. Chief Diaz says his department is doing what they can to prevent more shootings from happening by getting guns off the street. 5 were found at this crime scene, and so far this year, he says his department has taken 869 guns off the streets. Live in Seattle, Cornelius Hawker, King 5 News.
Cornelius, thank you. Right now, crews on both sides of the U.S.-Canadian border are working to contain wildfires. We're going to start with the latest fire near Spokane. Right now, firefighters are battling 4 fires there. The Gray, Oregon Road, Winona, and Thorpe fires are behind multiple evacuations and even a boil water advisory tonight. Governor Jay Inslee spent his day in the areas most affected.
Yesterday, I declared a statewide state of emergency due to the many fires we have burning in the state of Washington. We have about 35,000 acres that are burning or have in the last few days in the state of Washington.
We have team coverage tonight, starting with Sebastian Robertson, who's traveled over to the east side of the state this morning. And Sebastian, we want to start there with the biggest fire burning. The Grays fire has killed 1 person, charred more than 10,000 acres. What's the latest from where you are?
Hi, Madison. This fire has just been devastating, taking up the most resources, at times burning on both sides of I-90, causing travel delays. You said 1 person was killed, more than 10,000 acres charred, and this fire, the loss, is only just beginning to be calculated.
Mary Cox and her daughter Lisa are cool as can be in a Red Cross shelter in Chattaroy as a raging wildfire threatens their home. They were told to get out.
I never deal with the what if. I just deal with what is. Because if our home's there, fine. If it's not, well, we'll just take it as it comes.
To date, 25,000 acres have burned in Spokane County alone, 10,000 of those on the Gray Fire. That fire, sparked Friday, has claimed 185 homes in its path, a number that is expected to grow.
I just can't imagine what Medical Lake is going through with that many homes lost. There's going to be a lot of displaced people, and they're going to need a lot of help.
The governor in person Sunday at the same shelter where Lisa and her mom are staying, with the promise that more help is on the way.
What do you say to the people that say there need to be more resources on the ground? What can the federal and state government do to help contain this fire that at this point is 10% contained?
We need to fight these fires every way we can, starting with increasing our firefighting assets. We've increased our firefighting assets with fire engines, with planes, with personnel, to the tune of over $125 million just in the last year and a half.
Help may be coming, but deployment takes time. And this fire is proving a formidable opponent, covering some 9,000 acres in just 24 hours.
But we've got to understand we're up against a monster here that we've never felt before, and that's climate change. We got to attack climate change, which is causing more of these fires.
For Cox, the threat of a life-changing fire is no longer hypothetical. It's now in her backyard.
It's something that you just have to live with when you live in the forest, because you never know when a forest fire is going to happen.
It's devastating to hear their story, and as they wait to see what happened to their home, Sebastian, we know there's some road closures that will affect any eastward travel. So can you walk us through what people might face?
Widespread impacts to road closures and to traffic. You'll have to use extra attention if you're coming through this area. I-90 taking the brunt of it. You can expect some sort of delays, if not closures, all the way from about the Spokane city limits to the town of Sprague. That's in both directions, so pay extra attention. Now, WashDOT is saying that it's more than just fires that they're worrying about. They're also having to deal with the potential for downed power lines, with clearing trees, and work is already starting on that process. No word on when those impacted lanes could reopen. In addition, 902 in the area closed entirely. 904 closed in both directions from Tyler to Cheney. So pay extra attention if possible. Just avoid the area altogether and give fire crews a chance to catch up on what is proving to be a very widespread and very devastating fire. Near Spokane, Sebastian Robertson, King 5 News.
Sebastian, thank you. There are 3 other fires of concern in eastern Washington tonight. One of these is now under control. The Oregon Road fire near Elk has grown to more than 9,200 acres. That fire has now turned deadly. We confirm with our sister station in Spokane, 1 person has died in connection to this fire. Down in Whitman County, Winona is under level 1 evacuations. The entire town had to be evacuated on Friday for that fire burning about 2,500 acres. We know 1 home was lost in this. About 24 outbuildings were damaged. And just this morning, another fire sparked along US 195. The Thorpe fire has burned about 15 acres so far. It's burning up a slope near some homes. Level 2 evacuations are in place tonight. Closer to home, a new fire has started in Snohomish County. The Huckleberry Flats fire is burning near Darrington. It's burned about 100 acres so far. No word on the official cause tonight, but officials with Mount Baker Snoqualmie National Forest say human cause is suspected. And Highway 20 is still closed between New Halem and Silver State Gate because of both the Sourdough fire and the Blue Lake fire. The Sourdough fire has now burned more than 5,600 acres. It is 12% contained tonight. On the east side of the highway, the Blue Lake fire has burned about 200 acres. It's 3% contained. And finally, north of our border, a province-wide state of emergency is in place, has been declared in British Columbia as 2 major wildfires burn there. The Kelowna fire and the McDougall Creek fire. Some 30,000 people have been ordered to evacuate from both of these fires. Another 36,000 people have been told to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. The larger of the 2 fires, the McDougall Creek fire, has grown to cover some 27,000 acres. That is a massive fire. All of this is contributing to unhealthy air quality tonight. Another check of our Puget Sound Clean Air Agency's map. The yellow, the orange, mostly red that you're seeing in our area indicates a mix of moderate to unhealthy air quality in the Puget Sound area tonight. So let's bring in our meteorologist, Leah Pizzetti now. Leah, when will we see some relief from all this smoke.
Madison, relief is on the way, but we really are in the worst of it right now. You probably can smell it. You definitely can see it. Here's a live look outside from our Queen Anne camera showing the haze over downtown Seattle. So here's a look at our current AQI right now. So many of us around Puget Sound, really Everett and then down south, are in the unhealthy range. That means you should not be doing any outdoor exercise, no matter your health levels. Eastern Washington, much worse right now. Hazardous, very unhealthy. It's really bad over there. But thankfully, into tomorrow, we are going to catch a little bit of relief. So it does look like we could still see some moderate and maybe unhealthy for sensitive groups air quality, but much better than what we have been seeing today. And this actually is due in part to Hurricane Hillary. I'll show you why coming up.
Leah, thank you. Coming up, coast to coast, advocates who fought for the release of an orca captured in Puget Sound more than 50 years ago are in mourning. King 5's Eric Kazuko reports from Miami, Florida next.